On this episode of MATC Now, we'll take a look into the Cosmetology department, explore brand new additions to the downtown campus, pay tribute to our veterans by visiting the Milwaukee Soldiers Home, and cook up a delicious batch of tamales. All this and more coming up on MATC Now. Welcome to a brand new season of MATC Now. I'm your host, Courtney Bondar, and with me today is my co-host, Donnie Tran, a current MATC student in the barber program. It's a pleasure to have you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Courtney?
I'm really, really good. It's good to have you. But before we get to what's going on with you and the barber department, let's head over and check out what our field correspondent, Mackenzie Krueger, is exploring at the downtown campus. There's a new addition, so we need to go check it out. How's it looking over there, Mackenzie?
Courtney, the downtown campus M building has a new art gallery that gives students the chance to use their voices. I'll be back with more updates.
I can't wait to hear all about the gallery. We'll check back with Mackenzie in a little bit. We'll also be visiting the music operations department a little later, talk with Andrew Spadafora, an instructor, on his experiences in teaching. But first, Veterans Day is November 11th, and to pay tribute, student producer Cal Carpenter spent some time at the Milwaukee Soldiers Home to talk with our brave veterans.
Located near Miller Park sits a historic and necessary establishment.
Well, the Milwaukee Soldier Home core mission, this particular project is to house veterans that are experiencing or at risk of chronic homelessness. This particular building was constructed between 1867 to 1869, so it's over 150 years old, and over 1,000 men resided here. And it had served veterans since right after the Civil War until the present day.
While the homeless veteran problem still remains a core issue, Amy, the resident homeless program expert, believes expansive programming by the VA Medical Center helped tremendously.
There's been an initiative to end veteran homelessness, and so we have grown exponentially over the past 10 years and have really made a great impact on the homeless population and getting veterans housed in permanent housing within Milwaukee County.
We have a community room, we have workout rooms, there is a lounge, we have these beautiful tower lounges for the residents, and then we have these beautiful grounds that has always existed.
With COVID-19 still a primary concern, keeping veterans safe is one of the many top priorities.
We've really worked closely with our community providers that have provided shelter services to veterans to provide social distancing, to do testing for veterans who are going into shelter situations. We've really been working quickly to try to get veterans out of those congregate living settings into permanent housing.
We first opened our doors March 10th, 2021. And a lot of veterans struggled, even that much more, as certain jobs and, work shut down. So we were lucky to get the doors open while we were still in the midst of COVID.
We have a community resource and referral center, which is located at 1818 North Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. It's a walk-in and engagement center that's open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30, and any veteran can walk in, find out what kinds of services that they might be eligible for so that we can help connect them to something that might be available through the VA. So just having that awareness that we're here to help. We have resources available, and we really want veterans to come through that, or we have a homeless hotline that they can call and get connected to us locally, and we will definitely reach out to them and help make sure that they're connected to anything that they might need to help meet their needs.
Ultimately, John believes the Milwaukee Soldiers Home is a valuable asset to the city.
So I hope that they feel that it's a very special place, that they're living in history, but at the same time, I mean, there are beautiful new units, beautiful, facilities for them to enjoy, and a safe, clean place to build a community.
MATC has an array of outstanding industry expert instructors, with many of them being alumni themselves. These instructors help prepare students for their own professional careers.
When I was a music occupation student here, now this is 10, 15 years ago now, so it's been a little bit of time in between. It was an outstanding experience. I always find MATC to be, and especially the music and audio departments as well, by the way, it's a place where self-motivated people really have an opportunity to take their education and make it their own. And so me being a very self-motivated person myself, motivated by internal pursuits and whatnot, I thought that it allowed me the breadth to explore what I wanted to explore. And so there's sort of a fraternal feeling in our music industry of students who have gone through this program, these programs here, audio recording, and music. And we know all the same people, and we have all the same teams, and it was a wonderful experience being a student here and seeing students continue to come through these programs and be so inordinately successful.
As a professional, becoming an instructor allows Andrew to have another outlet to express his passion for music.
So compared to how my career was just before I started teaching at MATC, my life has changed a little bit. A few years ago I was diagnosed with pulmonary sarcoidosis, which is an autoimmune disease that attacks the lungs. And so prior to that happening, which in fact, crazy enough, the first time I interviewed for MATC was the week that I wound up starting the sickness. It was really a strange experience. But after that sickness, going through the COVID aspect as well in our industry, really changing, not only in performance, but also as an instructor here. My live performance scope has changed quite a bit. And so Live at the Lakefront is a great show put on. MATC's got a part of it, and the TV station as well, PBS. And so that was an outstanding performance that I was brought into by some friends of mine with the Blues Disciples. It was a great blues group with a lot of blues all-stars here in the region, southeastern Wisconsin, specifically based out of Milwaukee. And some of those characters in that band I play with in other contexts as well. And so all we had to do as musicians was just concentrate on not stepping on each other, because blues music, it's such an improvisational music. It's music that comes directly from the spirit. And that was a really memorable and fun performance. One of the better ones, because nowadays, again, with the health issues I've run into, I don't do as much of the wide touring, the bigger stages and whatnot. And so it's mostly club dates, which are fun. It's some of my favorite things to do. But getting into more of that sort of, more community-oriented aspect was a great experience for me, and I think for my fellow musicians and the Blues Disciples as well. In my experience, not just the knowledge that I gained here from these outstanding professors, all of whom are working professionals in our industries, and some of them on a very high level, but additionally, it really has set me up as a person to meet contacts that I knew right off the bat would be beneficial to my career, and vice versa too. I mean, it always feels good to know that I've got the stuff that came from MATC to make somebody else's career really happen as well.
With industry expert instructors, MATC offers self-motivated students a big first step into their future careers.
Thanks to Andrew Spadafora for talking with student producer Andrew Simon on his experiences. It's always inspiring to hear from those with first-hand knowledge in their field.
Now let's check back in with our field correspondent, Mackenzie Krueger, who is on the first floor of the downtown campus, where she's exploring an interesting new addition to the college.
Thank you, Courtney. I'm Mackenzie Krueger, and I'm the field correspondent for MATC Now. I'm here at the downtown M building, and we're looking at the new art gallery, and I'm going to take you on a tour. So I'm here with Dasha Hamilton, and I'm super excited to hear about everything that you've been working on. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Absolutely. Thank you for stopping by. So I am the social justice chair for the campus this year, and the project that I brought to the campus is called the Soapbox. It's something that we started as a citywide project in 2016 after the shooting and the fire and the riots in Sherman Park. So there was a young black man that was shot by police officers, and the city, unfortunately, like many cities in the country, was enraged. So we were looking for a way to have people share their voices, to mourn together, to heal together. So we literally built soapboxes and took them out to the park and watched people get up on the box and just state their truth. So over the course of that summer, the conversation evolved, and we came back the next summer and built a whole citywide initiative based on the conversations of generations, gender, incarceration, and privilege, because those dynamics impact every person in some way. So everyone has something to say about those different topics. So we were able to outfit that experience for the MATC campus. So it started with people reading some of these same quotes, and then we've turned it into an art exhibit where the MATC commentaries, experiences, ideas, questions even, are something that people can read and continue to interact with. So people can come to the gallery and put their Post-it notes with their stories, get up on the soapbox to an audience of maybe their 2 friends or maybe their whole class, and just build that muscle of listening and being heard.
I think that's so inspiring. So you were here last week and you did the soapbox, right? So can you tell me a little bit about what that experience was like?
It was amazing, especially for it to be a new introduction. So this has been an invitation that has been curious to many people because they feel, you want to hear what I have to say? No one wants to hear what I have to say. And we do. So to watch people get up on this box, there was a student that got up and spoke about her experience as a student who has struggled with homelessness and how this is a community that also needs to be heard and accommodated in special ways here on campus. There's a member of faculty that got up on the box and talked about an experience of something that happened with her daughter when her daughter was ill, and how the friends and family, well-meaning, wanting to be helpful, but actually was excluding her daughter from activities with her friends. So these are situations and stories that we wouldn't think about if it's not our life. But when you hear somebody else share a story from their life, you can't help but be a little bit more. So that's what was great to see that activated immediately.
I love to hear it. So can you tell me a little bit how you think this experience can benefit students in MATC and the community as a whole?
Absolutely. So one, just people seeing the example of someone as brave of a student standing up and talking in front of all of campus leadership about her specific experience encourages other people to consider to do the same. So one, we build this experience of remembering that we all have these different ways to walk through life and walk through these halls of this campus. And the other element is that faculty will be invited to embed these discussions into their curriculum. So we have activities and projects that they'll be able to do this semester and next semester as well. And lastly, we're having an inventory of all of the conversations that we're having, and the ones that are campus specific will be packaged into a report for leadership. You specifically need to address and discuss and reevaluate these topics that your community has raised, and all of the different community groups and campus organizations and student orgs will also have access to the same inventory of discussion, and hopefully it'll become research projects, it'll become art, there'll be continued programming. So these are actually beginning seeds.
You know, that is so inspiring, and I can't wait to see all the work that is going to be done and all the events coming up. Be sure to stop by the art gallery. This is an amazing experience. Thank you.
Thanks, Mackenzie. I'll be sure to stop by to see all the additions students have made so far. Students, though, whenever you get a chance, make sure you stop by the gallery too. Now is your time. Before we talk with our guests about their experience in the cosmetology program, let's join student producers Leslie Garcia and Uslias Mora as they take a look into the department.
The cosmetology program includes a wide range of hair services, from hair cutting, hair styling, hair coloring, and chemical services. We spoke to Julie Stubenrock, an instructor of the cosmetology program here at MATC, to give us an insight on how the classes are set up and what the students learn.
The cosmetology diploma program is 3 semesters. So those who start in August, with our breaks and everything, they graduate the following July, and the students that start in January graduate in December. So it's like a full calendar year, but it's really 3 full semesters. In their last semester or their last quarter, so for those seniors that are graduating in December, they're starting to take their state board review class. So we spend a solid 8 weeks prepping them to take their state board exam. And by the time they finish, we do a mock state board. They're very well versed in everything involving the test. They're well prepared. We have a very high pass rate. So yeah, they'll be nervous, but they'll be well prepared. My students are going to be doing we call it an externship. It's basically an internship. They will be going out to a salon and doing 56 hours in the salon. So that's one of the courses that we do at the end. These are students that are graduating in December. So sometimes it leads to a job. Other times it just gives them an idea of what they do or they don't want. But yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity in this industry, especially coming out of COVID. I think all systems are go.
We asked Julie what makes a student well suited for this program.
Independent, energetic, motivated, and not afraid to talk to people, not afraid to step outside of the box or of their comfort zone. I remember being shy as well. When I was 18 years old, got my first job in a salon, and it just gradually goes away because you have to initiate conversations with strangers on a daily basis.
Barber program prepares students to work in the profession by having them learn shampooing, cutting, shaving, beard trimming, and other services. Students should have an effective speaking and listening skills, the ability to work well with others, strong customer service focus, and good manual dexterity.
It's a great program. I love teaching it. I encourage people to check it out at our open house, contact one of us, find out more about the program. We'd love to have you.
The cosmetology program looks like a real cut above the rest. I might have to arrange a hair appointment myself or even refer some friends. But now that we've seen how the department works, let's talk to Donnie about his program. Donnie, so you've told me that you have been wanting to cut hair for years. So tell me why you came to MATC.
I came to MATC to develop my craft of cutting hair. My dad used to cut my hair when I was a child, and I didn't really like the style of it, so I started cutting my own hair. Mm-hmm. That's how I wanted to pursue this career of mine in the barber program.
So what's the program like? So I know we have Aveda in Milwaukee, we have MATC programs, we also have other departments as well in other areas. Why MATC in particular?
MATC provides just so much diversity, and it's an environment that I would like to be in. Mm-hmm. And overall, my experience here is fun. That's about it.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm so glad to hear that you chose MATC to learn this craft. And what do you want to do after college is done? Where do you want to go?
I really want to find a job somewhere in Milwaukee, but maybe somewhere out of Milwaukee, mm-hmm. just to explore the world.
So what does this program have to offer to students who are just entering the course? What can they look forward to?
They can look forward to perming their hair, coloring their hair, learning how to fade, how to layer, how to shave. There's different things for everyone in this program.
Absolutely. And what's one thing that you have done so far that has been exciting? Have you done fades? Have you done layers? What's going on? What have you done so far?
Every Thursday we have live clients that come in, and that's my favorite thing about this course. We get live clients and we get to cut them up and see what we've done and our progress mm-hmm. within the program.
So someone coming into the program for the first time, what is some advice you would give to them?
Just be yourself and just learn. really be open-minded to other people.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. Being open-minded is going to help you as a student and also enter into your craft as well. And thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking with you and getting to understand the program and the department as well, and getting a student's perspective of what it's like to be in cosmetology or even barbering. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
So with that being said, I think it's time to move to the next segment. With the leaves changing colors and the cool weather coming about, the Day of the Dead is a staple for the fall season. This is the time to celebrate Mexican heritage. Donnie, don't you agree that it is time to show for a delicious recipe as well? What are we looking forward to?
Just food.
Tamales. We're looking forward to tamales, and BellaDee is here to bring us that package.
Unfortunately, we finished celebrating the Day of the Dead a few days ago, but fortunately, you don't have to stop celebrating the traditional dishes, like today's recipe, chicken tamales. Tamales are a massive part of Mexican, Central, and South American culture, and your ingredients are going to be a massive player in flavor, so if you can, please try and buy them fresh. Now, first up, you're going to need dried corn husks, some shredded chicken, salsa verde, masa flour, baking powder, salt, cumin, lard, and broth, either chicken or beef, depending on what kind of filling you're using. Now, you're going to need some equipment as well, of course. Stovetop's always, nice when you're cooking. We're going to use 2 different mixing bowls, some different cups, spoons, a whisk or an electric mixer if you've got one, or just a fork if you don't, a steamer, and we're pretty ready to get started. Step 1 is to soak your corn husks in hot water. That's going to take about 30 minutes, and it's better when the water's hot. That'll save you some time there. But since we don't have a whole lot of time right now, we've got some ones that we've already soaked, and that gets them a lot more flexible and ready to pack and fill. So, your first step in preparing your dough and your filling is to make your lard mixture. You're going to want to combine 2 tablespoons of chicken broth and 2 cups of lard into your first bowl. And when you beat them with an electric mixer for about 3 to 5 minutes, it'll come out looking like this. We've already done it to save us some time. But look at that cloud-like consistency. You're looking to get a lot of air in there, and that will help with the texture of your final product. You want it to be nice and fluffy. Now, in your next bowl, you're going to want to combine your dry ingredients. That's your masa, your salt, and your baking powder. And, wait, nope, that's this guy right here. I've got so many little things to choose from. So this is our masa flour. Oh wait, no, too many bowls. There we are. This is our dry ingredients right here. Masa flour, baking powder, and a little bit of cumin for flavor. Now you want to combine these thoroughly because that baking powder, when you are cooking with it, you want that to be very evenly combined so that you don't have any weird little pockets of anything where you got like weird fluffy over here, not so fluffy over there. Now, you're gonna add now you're gonna combine this with your lard mixture. I don't know what else I have available. So you're going to take all of this loveliness and add it to, where did that just go? We're gonna add in our lard mixture here. And what you're looking for in the end is kind of a gravelly consistency. This isn't your final dough. We're still gonna add in more chicken broth near the end. So you're just kind of looking to get these combined, and they're not gonna be the most thoroughly combined thing. What you're looking for in the end is something more like this kind of like gravelly consistency. And you can see it starting to form here. You've got little clumps of dough combining with the fat, but it's not like a full dough. What you're gonna need to make that full dough is chicken broth. And so we're gonna add in our chicken broth to this guy here. And Clean hands are a very essential part of cooking. Make sure to wash your hands before you start cooking anything so that you can get your hands into whatever you're cooking. That's food safety. Now, you combine your broth in here. It's 3 cups of broth, and you want to make sure that your broth is nice and hot before you start doing this. Also, this oven's not on. This is an induction stovetop, so it's basically just a counter. Don't worry about me stirring plastic on a stovetop. It's fine and safe and good. And now, pretend that I'd mixed this for much longer, and it's gonna end up looking something like this. Isn't that lovely? It's a lot softer, a lot more pliable. It's got a consistency like peanut butter. And so that is gonna be our filling for these tamales. And now another hot cooking tip is to keep a lot of wet rags around so that when you're touching different doughs and sticky things and getting a whole mess all over your kitchen, you can fix it in 2 seconds flat. And so now that we've got our dough all lovely and ready to go, we're gonna move on to our meat filling. Now, traditional fillings include pork, beef, and chicken, and today we're using chicken and verde as well. So let me make myself some room over here. And our team has been lovely enough to set this aside for me and get everything ready. So we've got shredded chicken and salsa verde all there mixed together, ready to go. And now this is just a pan-fried shredded chicken mixed with salsa verde, nothing too crazy. And let's move on to assembling our tamales now. So we're gonna go back over and grab those nice husks. And you see we've got kind of 2 different sides going on here. We've got one that has a little bit more texture and one that's a little bit shinier. We want that shiny side up. So we're now going to take our spoon and grab about 1/4 cup of our filling, our dough. Place it at the top up here. And you can use some saran wrap to flatten it out. And you want to get it just on the top half of your corn husk so that you have room to fold everything back together again. And you're gonna wanna use about 1 or 2 tablespoons worth of meat filling and place it right in the center like that. And then you're ready to fold. Just one side overlapping the other, like you're folding up a brochure. And then fold up the bottom. And if you have little strips of corn husk, you can tie them off, but for the sake of time, we're just gonna say that is good and done. And then before you steam them, that's kind of what they look like. We got some more unsteamed ones here. And so when you're going to go and cook them, you're gonna wanna bring your water to a boil and pop them in there for 2 to 4, 1 to 2 hours, and that's about it. If you have got an electric steamer, you can fill your water to the water line and put them in there for 30 to 45 minutes. And if not, all good. But in the end, we've got lovely, beautiful tamales, and let your friends know about it. And even if you haven't, I'm sure the smell of them will get them on over. Thank you guys so much, and let's get back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Chef. Those tamales look tasty. I'll have to make my own sometime. Now let's join Courtney for the MATC Minute.
Don't forget to sign up for winter and spring classes. Be sure to also check with your pathway advisor to ensure you'll be taking the right courses this upcoming semester. Registration opens on Tuesday, November 15th, so log on to self-service and sign up. Join the MATC team in the 5K Candy Cane Run and Walk on November 12th at the Germantown Police Department. The event also features a Jingle Bell Dash for kids. Registration for this event is available through the MATC events page. Need help with financial aid? MATC is offering FAFSA completion workshops through the in-person and virtual meetings at all campuses. Be sure to check the MATC events page for date, time, and locations. Tomorrow is Election Day. Make sure you're registered to vote and check where your voting location is. Tomorrow is your chance to make a change, so your vote and your voice should be heard.
Thanks, Courtney. Now let's take a trip to Holy Hill. a historical Wisconsin centerpiece that has stood for over a century.
I'm student producer Nalisi Lorenzana, taking in the scenic view here at Holy Hill and Kettle Moraine State Park for another hidden Gem KE. Perched on 435 acres of glorious scenery, Holy Hill is a destination for those who want to come and celebrate faith, or even for those who just want to come and enjoy the natural forest.
The name Holy Hill was first given to the place by Irish settlers in the area in the 1800s. The forest and land is very hilly due to glacial landforms that used to exist here in the past.
Kettle Moraine is also good for water sports, such as kayaking, fishing, and boating, along with other activities like hiking, horseback riding, and so much more. Nearly 500,000 people come to this location yearly and still don't know about half the trails on site.
The forest includes 250 miles of hiking trails, along with many miles of trails for things such as skiing, snowmobiling, or even camping. There is even an abundance of supposed UFO sightings, which attracts tourists in hopes of viewing a sighting.
Personally, one of my favorite times to come out here is in fall, but make sure you check their seasonal hours to ensure that they're open. So come out to Holy Hill and check it out for yourself. I'm student producer Nalisi Lorenzana, and this has been another hidden Gem KE.
That's amazing. If I'm ever in the mood to see Wisconsin from a bird's eye view, I know exactly where to go. Well, it appears that's all the time we have today on this episode of MATC Now. Thank you, Donnie, for joining me today. It was a pleasure. And thank you guys as well for tuning in this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks for another episode, so don't worry. I'm your host, Courtney Bondar, and I'll see you next time.